pushing boundaries, no padlocks. Mining for diamonds, secrets in the hash. They'll find gems, make that portfolio splash. Talking with the legends, future so bright. Crypto dreams at dawn, shine into the night. Smart contracts, decentralized plans. Talking to the master, shaking high-tech hands. Riding on the chain, revolution in.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Late Night on Base. I am your host, Bill the Bull. I got my microphone working. It actually sounds pretty decent, not like dog shit. It's actually funny. A couple weeks ago, I was just like listening to some of my streams, and I was just like, wow, these sound terrible. And then I realized I did not have the microphone properly plugged in. My bad. Anyways, what's up, everyone? I'm Bill. We got a lot to talk about, a lot cooking, especially the Monday streams. Monday streams are great because it kind of catches up everybody to what happened on the weekend, last few days. I don't stream on Fridays too. Bill needs some rest. They say Bill needs rest. So no stream Friday or Saturday or Sunday, but Monday, I got you every single day. So we're going to talk. We're going to talk a lot about kind of what's going on in the base market, because a lot of people are talking about, oh man, there's this bear market, this and that. But like, if you're in the trenches on base, you know that's not the case. The energy's really contagious, and builders are building, and it's not stopping. And so we had news the other day about what was going on with Dog and Me. We're going to get to that. We're going to get into some of the other things like Kliza. I think it's called Kliza. I mean, the trenches are showing up. I mean, this thing launched on literally the worst day it possibly could. It's now like 6 million. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, what's going on, because that's what your boy does. And then we're going to have Ben from Pinto on the stream. If you didn't catch our stream, well, first of all, these guys are Chads, and what they're doing in the DeFi space is something you guys need to be paying attention to. And he likes to use the word Leviathan free. I like that word too. So we're going to talk about Leviathan money on the stream. And if you didn't check us out, Thursday we did a space with Rachel, but we'll be releasing a podcast later. Actually, after this episode, I want to kind of have them on, and we're going to talk to them. Happy St. Patrick's Day, Ryan, to you as well, my friend. As you can see, I'm not wearing green. I don't know if that's a bad thing. My apologies to those that want people to wear green on St. Patrick's Day. But I will have a Guinness later today. Oh, I will. Pinto, GM to you. We're excited to have you on today. We'll get to you guys shortly. Schizo, LFG, let's go, baby, let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go. That's the energy I like to hear. That's the vibe. So anyways, without further ado, let's jump into the charts. All right. So base, okay, yeah, let me pull up some stuff. Let me get cooking. And again, if you guys want to talk about anything in the stream, just write a message. Literally write a message, and I'll most likely get to you, because that's just how I roll. All right, so let's see. I want to well, first of all, Jesse's away on the birth of his son, so he hasn't really been active, but he's been retweeting a lot. I'm trying to get shout out to you, Jesse. I'm pretty sure you're not watching this, but if you are, my friend, shout out to you. All right, let me see where I got the base. The tweet about Dog and Me. I think it was, because that's actually really important for everybody to know what's going on. And again, if you haven't been, let's see. Okay, Coinbase asked. There you go. Okay. All right, time to share some stuff. Because what's important, whether you like Dog or Me or not, it's important for the base ecosystem. All right. So the other day on the 13th, 4 days ago, Coinbase announced Dog and Me is on the roadmap. So that means they're going to be listing Dog and Me and also Clanker. And the whole Clanker meta is something that's really taken X by storm. Everyone's using it. And, you have projects like DRB, who, is going to make probably $1 million off of that. So you have the meta. So these assets listing to roadmaps are very bullish. So obviously, Dog and Me shot up like crazy. So let's look at the chart. And let's see. All right. So I think it listed on the 13th, right? So what was that at? It was like right here. The candle was at like whatever this was, 2, 3. That, I mean, basically that announcement alone shot it up about almost 500%. That's pretty bullish. So naturally, something getting listed on Coinbase or the potential to be on Coinbase is a big deal. Obviously, look at what Toshi did. That one ran to like 900 million, a billion. I don't know. Dog and Me is the same way. So it's just a little thing like that's re-injecting, I guess, excitement to the base ecosystem, the memes especially, all the hard workers, the builders. So naturally, looking at it, I mean, this one came out last year in March. So it seems like they're putting emphasis on ones that have gone for about a year. So obviously Toshi was over a year, Dog and Me's next. So everyone's asking, what's the next one? What's the next, thing to be listed? Because eventually it's going to break its all-time high. Its all-time high was, let's see, what was it? Let's check it out. All right, so its all-time high was around 136 million. So to me, it's inevitable that Dog and Me is going to go past its all-time high. I mean, especially when it gets listed. I don't know when, but this is just a beautiful chart structure. And again, if you follow me, you know our good friend Elliot never lets us down. Never lets us down. Our good friend Elliot's going to take care of us. And we'll probably take care of all your base memes if it's not dog shit. So anyways, Elliott wave, there's always 5 wave moves. So just remember that. The thing with Elliott waves is the corrective phases are 2 and 4. They last a long time. So if you notice, this has lasted probably over, 1. This was like in April. Now it's down to, that's a year-long process. So the next leg up is going to be coming. And should be explosive. It's so super explosive. So that's a good one. So if you're in the Dog and Me community, shout out to you. So now we always want to see what's next. And again, this is what the trenches are doing. So the one that got my eye, I'm not in it. I've never spoken to anybody about it. I'm not saying invest in it. Definitely not saying it's going to be on Coinbase. Definitely not. But Klyza is something to show kind of what the trenches are doing at the moment. For some reason, my stream's a little laggy, so I apologize. So let's see. So that's why I want to say, like, for those thinking like, oh, we're in a bear market. Nah, not on base. Quite out. This is not charts that occur on a bear market. So this one just caught my eye. It's some AI thing. I don't really know much about it, honestly. To me, probably shitcoin, but hey, maybe it's the future of AI. I don't know. But this thing launched on literally the worst day. I think it was the 10th, and I even messaged the guy on X just to be like, commented like, why are you launching on today? It's literally the worst day. Guess he just wanted the product out. But this thing is at close to 7.5 million as of today or yesterday. This is not what a bear market chart looks like. Not saying buy it, absolutely not. Not saying even enter it. I don't care what you do with your money. Nothing I say is financial advice, but this just shows the trenches are real. This is not a bear market. You don't have charts like this. I repeat, you do not have charts like this. So take that for what it is. There's an appetite for people to give, risk on in this environment. And this is case in point. So that was interesting to me. And obviously, DRB was something that goes with the Clanker meta. It's on a retracement now. But DRB, again, this is not a chart that shows bear market vibes. Let's see. All right. So, yeah, I mean, ignore my hideous drawings. But again, you don't get something that goes from literally nothing to 40 million in 3 days if we're in a bear market. So, case in point, it's important to know where we are. It's important to take a deep breath and just be excited. Be excited to be like, wow, I'm in an ecosystem that's new, that has potential to just literally, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. Just literally knock the socks off of everybody. I think it's going to catch everyone by surprise. And I honestly think DRB is a really good asset just in case. Like, this is a beautiful chart. Again, 1, 2. They're working on its first wave. Remember, there's 5 waves in every move. At some point, this thing is going to go past its all-time high. I wouldn't be surprised if it hits close to 100 million on its leg up. Then there will be a retracement. Yes, as always, nothing goes up forever. But this is a really beautiful chart. I know there's a lot of big accounts talking about it, but naturally so. This thing might be earning about $1 million in fees for Grok. You really can't fade that. Hold on, I'm looking at the stream. Yeah, and also people, if you're gonna be aping into shitcoins, there's only one bot I recommend, and that's JuiceBot. I think you guys know that. I think you know that. And if you guys haven't done so already, you need to download the app. So as the market picks up, think about it. As the market picks up, I've shown you some charts about, feeling the energies there. Degens are here. Degens haven't left base. I'm not talking about Solana. I'm not talking about Ethereum. I'm only talking about base. And you're going to have the ability to enter into these trades if you're a degen. And to me, this episode, like I said, is brought to you by JuiceBot. They're the ones that I recommend using. I use them myself. If you haven't done so already, just visit JuiceBot on X. They'll set you up. It's through Telegram. So whether you use them, which I do recommend, lowest fees, you need to have some sort of trading bot out there to stay in the game. So that's what I recommend. That's right, bro. If you ain't sipping, you tripping juice. You damn right. And also, Sean's a Chad. Like, he's the guy behind Juice in the Mon community. And, like, there's, like, Chads and there's, like, extra Chads. Like, this guy's, like, athletic Chad. Dope guy, too. So, I think, like, they always are looking for feedback. So, again, and actually, you know what? You can also use their app to ape into Pinto, which we're going to be having on shortly. Ben's going to be on very soon. So, that's a gem, especially with like this whole, it's an interesting concept because it's not designed to be pegged to $1. Like some algorithmic stablecoins have to be at $1, but they have this like big brain stuff. Like Ben is a very smart guy, but he'll be on very soon and you can ape into his project or their project or other projects, your favorite meme using JuiceBot. So I highly recommend. As you say, Pinto, I too enjoy Leviathan free low volatility. Buchama. I don't know what Buchama is, sir, but I do enjoy the Leviathan free economy. All right. But yeah, so anyways, DRB looks good. One other chart two other charts I want to shout out before we bring on Pinto. So let's see. I want to shout out Arrowbed because they made some noise in my comments. Let's see. Oh, shit. We're also on Simps, by the way. Yo, Simps. Familia. I actually forgot I'm even on streaming on Simps. My bad, bruv. My bad, bruv. In case you guys don't know, I always stream on to X. I guess I stream onto YouTube. Not a huge fan of YouTube, but, your boy's got to be discovered. You know what I'm saying? Your boy's got to be discovered. You know what I'm saying? The more people know about your boy, the better content I produce. So I got to be on YouTube. But I also have Simps. They're a huge rotation in me now. It's super dope. It's better than Twitch, in my opinion. It's basically like the equivalent like Twitch. Great community, great vibes. So if you're a creator, especially, highly recommend doing a stream on Simps. I will say that every single day. And to my Sims Familia, I appreciate you. Gates and I will be doing a dedicated show, I think, Wednesday. The Bill and Gates Experience. Episode 1 was a banger. I got interviewed. Episode 2, though, I'm interviewing Gates. Hope you ready, big dog. Hope you ready. Hope you ready. Anyways, shout out to you guys. All right, so back to what I'm saying. All right, so let's see. Yeah, so Arrowbed. Want to shout out Arrowbed. They've shown some love. Again, you show me love, I show you love back. But this just goes to show, base memes are ready to pop. They're going to have a time when the market finally bids them. I know everyone's waiting for it, but it's going to happen. It's going to have the same type of explosion as March, April of last year. These are just classic Elliott waves. I don't know when, but it's going to happen. And this is Arrowbet. They've been doing a lot of great things. But again, Elliott waves. You can't fade it. First wave. This is your correction phase. This took a long time. Now it's working on its third wave. Now remember, in every 3 waves, I mean, you could actually, it's too tough to say if this is currently occurring on the 4th wave and you're going to have your final 5th wave, or this is just your wave 1 of the macro 3. I don't know, but the same theory occurs. This is going to go past its all-time high. So Arrowbet, I might be having them on the show next week. We'll see how to give them some love. You too can also buy Arrowbet on JuiceSpot. Just saying, JuiceSpot don't discriminate. I'm telling you, it just makes sense. And especially if you own the Juice token, you can stake, you get a % of the fees. Don't you get it like less fees instead of going into the devs' pockets? They distribute it back. Best rewards out there. Plus, they have a killer incentive program. So check that out. All right. So last one I want to show, I just have to show KeyCat. To me, I think this is the next one that's going to be listed. If you ask me, my personal opinion. And again, I don't fucking know. I don't have access to Coinbase listing team, but somehow somebody from Coinbase listing team is listening. My services are open to you. Hook a brother up. Hook a brother up. Hook a brother up. It'll be our secret. Just give me a little nibble. Let me know what's going on next. I won't tell anybody, but I will ape on JuiceSpot. All right, so listen, KeyCat to me is just a simple banger. The reason why I like this one out of a lot of the base memes currently is because it maintained a higher low structure. So again, in chart analysis, this dip took it to about 1.7 cents. So let's just go market cap. Let's go market cap. And after this, I'll be having Ben on. So get ready, Ben. I'm going to ask you some questions. All right. So anyways, you got up to about 196 million. So the reason I like this is on this dip of this low, it went to 13 million, but it maintained its bullish structure. This right here was the low set in September timeframe. If it would have dropped below this, that would have been problematic. I don't care what anyone says. That's problematic. And there are some charts out there like that have maintained that structure. And I'm not as bullish, but this one maintained it. So naturally, all you need to do is just draw a horizontal line as such. And that's your now support. This is basically a year-long support, or a month, year and a half, or 8 months, whatever. Basically deviated barely, and it broke back. So this is a support level I'm watching now. Obviously, if it starts closing candles before this yellow line, it's done. It's toast. I don't care what anyone says. But as a trader, as somebody who's knowledgeable and knows what's going on, this to me is going to break its all-time high at some point. People like cats that play piano. I do as well. So shout out to KeyCat. Pretty bullish. All right. But without further ado, enough about this. Let's get the man, the myth. Ben, what is up, my friend? How you doing? Ben, you are on mute or something.
What about now? How are we doing, Bill?
I hear you perfectly. What is up, bro?
Amazing. There's 4 different levels of mute that are possible in the system. So I was clear on 3 of the 4 of them, but now we're clear.
What? You're loud and clear. All right. So listen, and today, guys, Ben's from Pinto. Right after this episode, we are actually going to release the podcast we did. So obviously, if you didn't listen to Rachel and I's space with Ben on Thursday, we have a much more in-depth detail with Pinto through the podcast. We did a lot. It's about 35-40-minute session. We just vibed and chatted. So you'll know a lot about how the mechanics work and this and that. But so stay tuned for that. I'll tweet it out. But Ben, talk to us. For those listening on the stream, again, we have a lot of DJs. These streams get a lot of people who like to ape. It's sponsored by JuiceSpot. JuiceSpot does a lot with the DJing community, traders. They watch my technical analysis. So maybe they don't know much about JuiceSpot. Bro, lowdown. What is Juice? I mean, not JuiceSpot. Give us the lowdown. What is Pinto?
Great. So Pinto, particularly for the apes in the chat, is an asset that is perhaps counterintuitively optimized to minimize volatility. So with a lot of these coins that people are trading today, there's an emphasis on volatility. People are trying to just buy low and sell high, if you will. Now, these are fun speculative games, but are generally a far cry from an entire economy. If you think about an economy, and particularly a crypto economy, it requires people to be borrowing and lending and buying and selling things, be it tokens or other goods. And in an economy, you need some medium of exchange and unit of account to be performing all this activity. So I'm sure with any of the meme coins and stuff that you're talking about on your show, Bill, most of the time you're quoting prices in USDC or USDT. And herein lies sort of a critical failure point or point of vulnerability for our entire space, where all of these meme coins and stuff exist on these distributed computer networks that have been so meticulously designed in order to minimize any central points of failure or points of censorship or points of trust. And unfortunately, because of the lack of a sufficiently low volatility asset that is the property, we would call it as Leviathan free, on the Ethereum network or on the base network, if you will, the result is that the market has been forced to congregate around USDC and USDT, which are low volatility in nature, which makes them usable as a medium of exchange and unit of account. But due to their nature of being collateralized by treasuries, there is a Faustian bargain that goes on here, where sure, you get a lot of utility, low volatility, stability, but the trade-off is that now you are sort of trusting all of your value to Circle or to Tether, and implicitly also to the governments that are able to influence these companies. And so in some sense, we have like a real dissonance where we have these computer networks that are optimized to be trustless, permissionless, censorship resistant. And then all of the projects and all of the apps and all of the meme coins that exist on these computer networks are all inherently reliant on these centralized stable coins. And this presents a real threat to our space as a whole, where the issuers of Circle and Tether, the issuers of USDC and USDT, have sort of a kill switch or a control switch over which they are implicitly able to control the state and the software running these computer networks. So Pinto is a response to this existential threat, whereby Pinto is creating an alternative that from first principles, the currency has been designed to be Leviathan free in nature, and happy to get into that if you want. But the idea is there's no centralized party controlling the system. There's no central point of failure. There's no central point of censorship. There's no central point of trust. There is no nature of permissioning or whitelists or blacklists. And the idea is that Pinto can serve the crypto economy as an alternative to USDC and USDT. That if users are willing to trade some perfect stability, where USDC and USDT are generally highly stable, if the users of these networks are willing to trade off some element of stability and accept some amount of volatility, what they can get in return is a significantly higher degree of trustlessness and a significantly higher degree of censorship resistance, and also better interest rates. So to get into that, we'd have to get into the protocol, but that's the 2-minute version of what Pinto is.
I like it. Like I said, for much more in-depth details, we're going to release the podcast. We're going to get deep into that. This one, though, we're not going to get as deep because literally the 190, shout out again to the 190 people tuning in. If we get too deep into it, they will literally say, Bill, we're done with you. We just want to ape. And I'll be like, yo, guys, listen, chill, bruv. I will let you guys know what to ape, but I like Pinto because, first of all, you're heading into the DeFi world. You have the thing called silo and fields. Okay, so let's just take it down like super basic level in the sense of how can, I guess, degens, because that's what this show is about. This show is all about people exploring base degen bills. How can they make money in the protocol? Is it by depositing in the silo? Is it by buying a Pinto token? What's the best way to gameplay this, I guess you could say, from a degen's point of view?
So there's a couple different strategies that someone could use to participate in the protocol. And I feel obligated to say Pinto is experimental in nature.
For sure.
And as much as there are ways to ape in and potentially make a lot of money, there's also a lot of different ways to lose money. And so it's very important people are just mindful of that.
Totally.
With that said, there's two main key places that participants in the Pinto protocol can earn yield. So one is the silo, which you mentioned, and the other is the field. The TLDR is people can buy Pinto and either deposit them in the silo in exchange for passive yield, and you retain all your liquidity, so you can deposit and withdraw from the silo at any time. And while you're in the silo, you may earn yield. Or you can buy Pinto and sow it in the field, where basically you sow it in the field. The Pinto that you sow is lent to the protocol. The protocol burns the Pinto that you lend to it, and then you receive back pods. And the pods are paid back on a first in, first out basis. So pods right now are giving you like a 10x. So if you bought Pinto and you sold them.
Did you take a time out? Did you just say a 10x?
Yes.
Bro, send me the JuiceBot app right now. I got an ape. Let's go. Let's go.
I appreciate your zest for yield, Bill. The difference between the silo and the field is primarily liquidity. That when you lend your Pinto to the protocol, it burns your Pinto in the field and you get back pods. There is a pod marketplace where you can sell your pods on the secondary market, but there's no way to reverse the loan and just send the pods back to the protocol in exchange for Pinto. Whereas in the silo, you're likely going to receive a lower interest rate, but you have liquidity at all points in time.
Yeah.
So these are the two main ways to earn yield from the protocol. Now, the other thing to mention with the silo is that it's a variable yield. So you don't actually know what the yield is going to be. It's a function of future demand for Pinto. Now, something that's rolling out this week, which may particularly appeal to the degens or the non-degens, both, is an integration with Spectra, whereby people can now take their Pinto, and it's a little complicated, but they can basically wrap the Pinto into something called S Pinto, which is a yield-bearing rebasing version of Pinto, and then take the S Pinto and put it into Spectra. And then Spectra, for those who are unfamiliar, allow for speculation on yield, whereby basically now the people that are willing to speculate and maybe ape and say, I'm willing to accept whatever yield the Pinto protocol is going to give me over the next couple months, I'm willing to trade that some stable portion of yield for leverage on the variable portion of yield. So something like 10%, you can basically sell someone, hey, if you're willing to lock in 10% Pinto yield today, I'm willing to guarantee that 10% for you, but I get all the additional yield, if that makes sense. So we could make a deal, Bill, where you could lock in 10%. I'm going to pay you 10% yield over the next 4 months, and I get any excess yield on your capital over the 10%. So if Pinto yields 5% over the next 4 months, you get 10%. You basically get your 10% and you get your 5% and you get my 5%. You'd get your guaranteed 10% and I would get 0%. But if Pinto yielded something like 15%, you still get your 10% and then I get the remaining 20% of the yield, if that makes sense. So now there's the ability to speculate on the yield from the protocol. And the reason I'm talking about this is particularly you asked about what would appeal to the degens. You know, Pinto is a protocol that will go through an extended period of time, maybe a couple weeks, maybe a couple months, where there's no yield whatsoever or very little yield. And then it will have a big growth cycle where in a short period of time, there's a tremendous amount of yield. So this Spectra integration offers something really unique where people now can speculate on what the future yield of Pinto is going to be and basically take on leveraged bets about that yield. So that's pretty exciting from where I sit.
Yeah, no, that's exciting too. And I like the fact that, there's going to be different times when the yields will be higher. So I think, that's a really good thing. So once the yields start getting higher, then naturally people are just interested in. And I think on this show, especially, people are always looking for opportunity, right? So like you said, everything you're doing is experimental. Nothing's financial advice, but you're offering a cool experimental opportunity for people to kind of join and participate and see what happens. So listen, Ben, I'm excited for Pinto. You know that as well. We're now friends. We are now going to be pushing Pinto as much as we can. For those, again, that want a deep dive, you have to tune into the podcast. We'll be releasing that today. It's going to be on Spotify, Pods, Media, and all on chain, and also on YouTube. So you'll get the more in-depth, TLDR on that. So Ben, last words for you before we wrap things up. The floor is yours.
Just want to say two things. One, thank you very much, Bill, for having us and for sharing your platform with us again. Excited to have the podcast come out later today. And 2, a call to action. For those of you that are super excited about the potential for the crypto space, but wondering a little bit what we're all doing here and where sustainable returns are going to come from, I'd encourage you to come check out Pinto. From where we sit, it is one of the most exciting and rigorous projects in our space. We just dropped the white paper a couple weeks ago. It details in 60-something pages exactly how all this stuff works. And not that you have to go read it for yourself, but the fact that we're trying to do things out in the open, publicly, and with such level of rigor, I think really speaks to how important we feel this project is. So we'll just encourage all your listeners to come check it out.
Absolutely. And, you should tell your intern, tell him what's up. I see him, commenting in the background. He's put in that work. I like it.
Appreciate that very much. We'll send your kind words on to them.
Awesome. All right, Ben. Ben from Pinto, everyone. Check him out. Check out the podcast when we do with him. Yeah, great guy, great team. So, yeah, that's the last things I'll say before we wrap things up. Tomorrow, I don't think we're going to have a show, but we'll have one Wednesday. Wednesday is obviously the next layer. That's what my boy Chaos Chris from the Verse. We are going to talk about other chains. So we don't just talk about Base. We talk about wherever the action is. If you're a DJ, you need to watch that. We talk Pulse Chain, we talk Ethereum, we talk Solana. But really, there's a lot of opportunity in Pulse Chain at the moment. Obviously, Base. I'm not going to forget Base because Base is my boy. And plus, late night on Base, it'd be weird as hell if I didn't talk about Base stuff. So, yeah, we got that. Thursday's NFT tonight with Base Junkie. I'm telling you guys right now, yes, we all ape shitcoins. We're all shitcoin venture maxi or shitcoin venture capitalists. Yes, we are. But the NFT meta is coming, and it's coming in hot, and I think it's starting to form. So pay attention to that. I'm not going to show what myself and Base Junkie are pushing, but, we have stuff cooking in the background. Tune in on Thursday. We'll tell you all about it. It's a DAO, and also what we think is probably going to be the top collection on Base NFT project. So working behind the scenes. Other than that, yes, the Pinto intern doesn't sleep. Absolutely not. And Pinto intern, you deserve a raise. Ben, give Pinto, the man or lady, a raise. Deserves it. Anyways, guys, I guess that's it. I'm your boy Bill. 238 of you showed up today. Everyone on Sims, appreciate you guys as well. Not really much else to say except stay based. Also, in about an hour, we'll be doing a space. Rachel Rose and myself will be doing a space with a project all about NCAA tournament bracket. So tune into that. Rachel will be hosting it. I'll be joining it. So other than that, guys, peace. Catch you tomorrow. Actually, no, that's a lie. I won't catch you tomorrow, but I'll catch you Wednesday. Cheers.